Hey guys, I'm Allison. I'm the Pampered Wife. In today's video, I'm reviewing this week's makeup that I wore. I've got some Fitglow, Clove Hallow, Lovinah eyeshadow palette, Say Beauty, and more. If you enjoy this video at any point, please do give it a thumbs up. I'd love to have you subscribe, and I'm gonna go ahead and jump in. I already have my sunscreen on. Today I have on the Tula Mineral Magic. It's oil-free and it has more of a matte finish. I do have it on top of skincare, but this gives you an idea of the finish. And I did do a mineral sunscreen review recently. I will link that. Also, I link every product I talk about or put on my face, or I try to unless I run out of room, which has happened. The foundation I've been using is the Fitglow Beauty Foundation, and I have the shade F3.5. It's been a really great match for me. I'm wondering if now that it's spring and I'll be getting a little more sun, how the shade will be, if I'll need to, just bronze a little more, or if I'll actually need a different shade. I try not to get too much sun, so I shouldn't actually need another shade. It does have like doe foot applicator, which is really interesting and different, and it's not at all flexible, the applicator. I'm just gonna use a short-haired dome brush to spread it around. Using fingers works really, really well. This is more of a waxy foundation, like spreading it around feels a little bit waxy, although it doesn't on the skin. It doesn't feel at all greasy or anything. It's just interesting. I can't say I have another product with this kind of texture. I think I'm gonna go in now with concealer and then go back in with more foundation. I do want a little more coverage, especially over my melasma spots, my sunspots. But I want to go ahead in with concealer. I'm still using my Fitglow Beauty Concealer in the shade C3. It's half a shade lighter than the foundation, and it also has a doe foot applicator. Did I say neither of these applicators are flexible? I think I did mention that. It's just interesting. I mean, I can't say I really have a preference either way, although I do like my lip applicator to be flexible. Let's see, this week I've been using a brush. This is a Sephora brush, the Pro Airbrush Detail number 57. Sometimes I use my fingers, sometimes I use a brush. I don't typically use a sponge for almost anything actually, just because the sponge picks up so much product. And this concealer is really nice. It's more full coverage, but what I found is just pretty much with every concealer, I really need to moisturize under my eyes and around my eyes, especially in here. That's where I get really peely and dry. And if I do that, it goes on beautifully and wears really nicely. It will crease. That's not completely true. Sometimes it goes better than others, which may have to do with how much product I have on under my eye. The less product you have on, the less likely it is to crease. But I am gonna add a little more, and I think I'm gonna add a little down my neck. I didn't comment just now, but the concealer actually feels dry when you put it on, but it spreads out nicely. You just don't need very much at all. So one of the reasons that I chose the SPF that I have on today that's a lot more matte is because I did a previous video where I think it was my first impression of the Fitglow foundation, and I wore a really luminous, glowy sunscreen underneath, and the foundation was really glowy and dewy. So this shows you the gorgeous satin finish that it gives, or satin matte, based on what I have on underneath, as well as the overall evening of my skin tone. Like, it doesn't really look like makeup. You can still see my sunspots through there. It definitely evened out my skin tone, gave nice coverage. It was really easy to blend out because of that waxy texture. And then it doesn't feel really sticky. I don't usually powder it, although sometimes I do. You would think my allergies wouldn't bother me today. I think I'm gonna adjust the lighting. I think it's making me look more pale than I actually look. Yeah, that's better. But the foundation is really nice. I really like it. And it's funny because I always like how it looks and it just wears in throughout the day really beautifully, but I never get excited to use it. So I'm not sure why that is. I have literally no negative about it. Let's go right into eyes. Today I'm using the Clove Hallow Locked Down Eye Primer. This does work, it does help. I go through phases where I want to use an eye primer and where I don't. I think since I put my sunscreen on my eyes, I don't really need an eye primer because the sunscreen is already there acting as a primer. It's moisturized my eyelids and is the teeniest bit tacky, so something will stick to it, just like your primer probably is gonna do. But this one's really interesting because it almost is kind of waxy when you put it onto your finger. And then when you spread it out, it almost feels dry. It turns to feeling velvety, I guess I should say, and gives absolutely no coverage, which is a pro or a con depending on where you're coming from. To me, that's a neutral thing. I do like the packaging, the squeezy tip. You don't get too much out at once, which I appreciate. And this week I'm using the Lovinah palette. This is the Eye Magic palette. Oh, such gorgeous colors in here. And I think the packaging is really pretty. It's made of like pressed cardboard. And then each shade is labeled with a plastic sleeve. Now, I get lots of looks from this. Actually, the most recent video I did, my sunscreen video, I did a look with more of the jewel tones. So if you want to see, you don't even have to watch the video. If you just want to see what, another option of what you could do with this, you can check out the thumbnail of that video. But today I'm going to go with an everyday neutral look. I'm going to put this in the crease for starters. And this can be a bit powdery. I just tapped my brush in. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, I think you can see how much it kicked up. So you definitely want to tap these off. And I actually put it a little above my crease because if I put it in the crease, you won't see it. And then I'll just take what's left and put that around in a V shape toward the edge of my eye. Then I'm gonna go in with this pink right here and do that over the inner corner to the center of my lid. It's a very white, bright pink, which I appreciate because when I look at this palette, I don't feel like there's gonna be any kind of highlighting shade or brightening shade. I'm gonna take what's left and put it up here under my eyebrow. Using that same domed brush, I'm gonna go into this shade here just to deepen up the outer corner. I'm just gonna touch it. Tap right there very lightly, just to add a little dimension. Then I'm also gonna squeeze it together and go just on the outer corner of my lower lash line. Now, of course, I'm gonna blend. Let's go do brows next is what I'm thinking. For brows, I've just been using my Bobbi Brown Jones Road, the best pencil in brown. It is very soft, and I've learned to touch very lightly to the brows, or anywhere actually. It's very soft, and it does a great job as a brow pencil. I find if I hold it on its side, even though it's not really sharpened, it's easier for me not to go overboard than if I go straight on and do it. And it's so soft that I can just use my finger and kind of wipe off if I got it somewhere I didn't want it. And then I just go in with a spoolie. This is actually like a mascara wand that I got at a makeup counter. You know how they'll use a clean mascara wand that they take from a little container so that you can try out a mascara. That's what this is. It works perfectly well. And then to hold it in place, hold my brows in place, I've been using the Say Brow Butter in, I believe it's, yes, medium brown. I have a review on the Say line of the products that I have, so I will link that video as well. And I'll wipe off just what's at the very tip, but otherwise I don't feel like it really picks up or dispenses a lot of product. It certainly doesn't put down a lot of color, and it doesn't have a lot of hold. So basically, this has not been the best combination. Let me know if you've tried this and you like it. I'm gonna go in now with bronzer. This is the Tower 28 West Coast. So this is quite a glittery product, and I don't really need to use a highlighter with it, so I do like that. I don't know if glittery isn't the right word, shimmery or dewy. It looks like it has sparkles in it, but on the skin it doesn't. It's just a dewy, sort of shimmery product on its own, but I never see chunks of glitter at all. Yeah, I really like this bronzer. Like all of Say's products, it's super easy just to tap into the skin. It melts right in. It's seamless. It wears well with powder products as well as cream products. It doesn't remove foundation or the product underneath, and it wears nicely. Will fade a little throughout the day like all cream products. And I believe this comes in at least 3 shades. So for blush, I'm actually using the Say Dew, I think it's called like Dewy Blush, Dew Blush in the shade Chili. This is one of their new releases and I love it. It's for me like a perfect shade. It's got the huge doe foot applicator, and it's kind of scary because it looks like you put a whole lot on, and it looks like I'm gonna look like Raggedy Ann. Actually, this one doesn't fade throughout the day. This wears so nicely and has a bit of a sheen to it as well, a bit of dewiness, but it's not really super dewy. Like, it's not sticky or tacky as my hair sticks to my face. I do wipe off what's on here before putting it on my face because I can always add more. And actually, I've never had a disaster where I added too much, even though sometimes it looked like I did. But once I get it blended out, it's never too much. So yeah, this is definitely a favorite blush of mine. Favorite formula, favorite color. I actually even love how it dispenses. I don't have to stick my finger in it and get it all tacky and dirty. It's perfect. I'm trying to decide if I want to go in and tightline a little bit with the Bobbi Brown. I'm trying to do just very close to my lash line. Not so much the upper waterline, although of course it's getting the upper waterline. That way my lashes look fuller and thicker at the bottom, and of course some will transfer to the bottom waterline, and then of course will end up under my eyes. So now what I'm gonna do is go in and powder under my eyes to hopefully keep it from running too much. And the powder that I've been using is the Jane Iredale Amazing Matte. And I believe, I don't know if this comes in more than one shade. I don't see a shade on here. So I must just have like the translucent, or maybe it's just one shade. Again, I'll link everything down below. So this does have little holes, but I think I couldn't get it out of the little holes one time, so I took the top off, poured some into the top and poured it back on top after I like closed it or put this back in. And now I don't know if the holes are just dumping product all the time or if that's still from the one time that I did that. Anyway, I've talked about this powder before. I said I didn't like it. I don't know why, because it actually is really nice. I don't know if I've learned how to use it, like I've improved my makeup skills, my makeup application skills, or if my skin is different, which of course could be part of it. I make sure to moisturize really well now before I apply my makeup. Maybe that makes a difference. So I'm using my Say Under Eye powder brush that I just love, tapping off the excess. And then I'm just gonna tap a little bit under each eye and then bring it down around the mouth and chin, and then I'll sort of dust it out. I'm also gonna make sure to put some up on my forehead where I tend to get all shiny. And I love that it takes away any sense of tack, but I don't look completely dry and, you know, like the moisture has all been sucked out of my skin. See, I forgot contour, which I don't wear every day. This is the Westman Atelier Contour in Biscuit. The only contour I own. It's creamy and easy to spread out. It's not greasy or slippery like their lit up highlight sticks. And it's maybe a little more slippery than their cream blushes or blush sticks. Actually, I usually use my finger with this. I think fingers are best for this. Unless you have Gucci Westmans or the Westman Atelier brushes, which are just special. With cream products, her brushes are really amazing. Make sure you rub that right into the hairline. If I'm not mistaken, it's time for mascara. I'm still using the Fitglow Lash Primer. I do like the amount of separation and lifting that it does for my lashes. Makes them look wispier. I know it's supposed to be volumizing, but I feel like it makes them look wispier and volumizing in the sense that I have more lashes, not in the sense that the mascara acts more volumizing. Does that make sense? And then I think I'm finally finished with the Jones Road, the mascara. It's not that I hated it and I'm like, yeah, I'm finally finished. It's just, I love trying new products and I'm ready to move on. I've enjoyed this mascara. It actually is a great all-purpose mascara. You can build it up, get more volume, or I, some days just do the tips of my lashes to look a little more natural. It wears really well. It's a nice rich black, but I think it's on its way out. I have been using it, every day for a couple of months. I think since the end of February, March, April. I mean, wow. those are some lashes. You know what I've been doing actually? I never put mascara on my bottom lashes, but I have sometimes been using the Fitglow Lash Primer on my bottom lashes, and that I do like. It's just a touch of color and it separates them and makes them more baby doll looking. Well, let's go ahead and do lips. I've done all kinds of things. I've been wearing some of the Babo, I think it's called, with the SPF 15. I've also been wearing the Jane Iredale SPF. The Babo that I've been wearing is more red, the Jane Iredale is more pink. And then of course, I've got my little sample of Fitglow lip serum, colored lip serum in the shade Gospel. I've really, really liked this one. And this is nice because it's cushiony and comfortable and moisturizing. I love these little samples that you get with every order because I get to try different shades all the time. I can keep them in my purse. I can keep 6 of them in my purse, and my purse doesn't get heavy. It's, you know, just great. And it's not overwhelming. It's got some pigment. It's not sheer, but it's not too strong, and it's not too shiny, and it's not too matte, and it lasts a long time. So yeah, I think I'm finished with this look. My hair has gotten really long. It was so short for such a long time, and now it's so long, and it's definitely time for a haircut. Now that it's longer, I go much longer between haircuts, especially since I'm no longer cutting it myself like I was during the pandemic. When I would get my own scissors out, I stopped that. Anyway, back to the look. I want to point out that I could very easily have put on shimmer. I'm going to swatch just the shades that I used. So here's the one that I used in my crease. That's Bewitched. And then the one that I used all over my lid is BU. See, it's a matte whitish pink. And then the pop of color in the corner of my eye is Secret. This one's more neutral and this one's more red. Sometimes I'll use either the blue or the green as an eyeliner. I just wet my brush and use that. I often mix some of these, even the pink with some of these, just to change up the shades. The only one I really hardly ever use is this one. But like on today's look, I could either go in with the shimmery pink, which is called Miracle. I don't know why, there it is. See, it's not a duochrome, but you can see how it's changing. Maybe it is duochrome. It really is quite reflective and catches the light. So then the other one that I might have used today is this one right here, which is called Spiritual, but it's quite deep. Like it would really deepen the look. And I don't think I want to do that. See how deep that is? But it's really pretty. Sort of a reddish gold on me. Really, it's a copper on me. Of course, now I want to use a shimmer. I'm not going to. I'm going to put these away. It's a gorgeous palette, very versatile. I've found lots of different looks. I found it to work for every day when I thought it wouldn't because the colors look so saturated and you can build them up. They are not quite as user-friendly as like the Well People, which doesn't quite have as much pigment, which makes it easier to work with. You can build that up, whereas these are pigmented. You need to be careful when you go in or you could look like a clown. So that's it for today's look. Let me know what you think. If you have any of these products. On another note, I got the Ritual Defee new foundation. It's their lab release. It's not the final product. So I'm very excited about that. I think that will be one of the next videos for sure. I haven't even opened it. I'm so excited. If you enjoyed this video at any point, please give it a thumbs up. As always, I'd love to have you subscribe. And in the meantime, I hope you find some time to pamper yourself today.